Here is the table showing the sources of threats to external and internal validity of the two experimental design. As we have already discussed that we have three pre-experimental design: pre-test, post-test control group design, post-test only control group design, Solomon 4 group design. The first one is pre-test, post-test control group design. Both the groups are selected randomly, then pre-tested. One group is given a treatment X1 and the other is given X2, and both the groups are pre-tested, post-tested. Here we noted that all the threads of internal validities are controlled in this design. The only uncontrolled thread is the external thread, that is the pre-test treatment interaction, and this last one is multiple treatment interference, that is irrelevant. History is controlled because of two groups are involved in this design. Maturation, because the groups are randomly selected. Again, testing is controlled because of two groups. Instrumentation and regression and are also controlled due to the involvement of two groups. Selection is controlled through randomization. Mortality is controlled because the pre-test data is available. Selection interaction is also controlled because of randomization. Pre-test treatment interaction is not controlled because the groups are pre-tested and the results are going to be generalized on a population that is not pre-tested. And again, the multiple treatment interference because the groups are receiving only one treatment at a time. The next is the post-test only control group designs. Both groups are selected randomly. Again, there is no pre-test. Both groups are exposed to the treatments and then post-tested. In this design, all the factors are almost controlled except the mortality. History is controlled because there are two groups. Maturation is controlled because the groups are randomly selected. Testing, instrumentation, and regression become irrelevant because the pretest is not involved. Similarly, selection is controlled due to randomization. Mortality is not controlled because we don't have any pre-experimental data. Selection interaction is controlled. Pretest interaction is irrelevant because there is no pretest, and multiple treatment interference is again irrelevant because the groups are receiving only one treatment. The next group is Solomon 4 groups. This is the combination of pretest, post-test, and only post-test control group design. There are four groups. Four groups are randomly selected. Two of them are pre-tested and two are not post-tested. Both four groups are exposed to treatment and then post-tested. All the relevant threats to internal and external validities are controlled. The last multiple treatment interference is not relevant. History is controlled because there are more than one groups. Maturation is controlled due to randomization. Testing, instrumentation, regression is controlled because we have a core group and two groups are post-tested and two are not. And the multiple interference is not relevant because the groups are receiving only a single treatment. The next designs are quasi-experimental designs. Sometimes it is just not possible to assign individual participants to groups randomly. For example, to receive permission to include school children in a study, a researcher often has to agree to keep existing classroom intact. In other words, entire classrooms, not individual students, are assigned to treatment. When random assignment is not possible, a researcher may choose from a number of quasi-experimental designs that provide adequate controls. The non-equivalent control group design is the first design of quasi-experimental design. This design is very much like the pre-test post-test control group design discussed previously. In non-equivalent control group design, two or more treatment groups are pre-tested, administered a treatment, and post-tested. The difference is that it involves random assignment of intact groups to treatment, not random assignment of individual. For example, suppose a school volunteered 6 intact classrooms for a study. 3 of 6 classrooms may be randomly assigned to the experimental group and the remaining 3 assigned to the control group. The inability to assign individuals to treatment randomly, opposed to assigning whole classes, adds validity threats such as regression and interaction between selection, maturation, history, and testing. The time series design. This design is an elaboration of the one group pre-test, post-test design. In the time series design, one group is repeatedly pre-tested until pre-test scores are stable. The group is then exposed to a treatment, and after treatment implementation repeatedly post-tested. If groups perform essentially the same on a number of pre-tests and then significantly improve following a treatment, the researcher can be more confident about the effectiveness of the treatment than if just one pre-test and one post-test were administered. Here is the pictorial view of the time series design. This is the baseline. The group is observed 5 times before the treatment, and then treatment is given to the group, and after treatment it was observed 5 times. History is a problem with the time series design because some events or activity may occur between the last pre-test and the first post-test. Instrumentation may also be a problem, but only if the researcher changes measuring instrument during the study. Pre-test treatment interaction is certainly a possibility if one pre-test can interact with the treatment. More than one pre-test can only make matters worse. Counterbalance design. Counterbalance design represents another technique for equating experimental and comparison group. In this design, each group is exposed to all treatments. Any number of the treatments may be involved. An example of a diagram for a counterbalance design involving 3 treatments is as follows. There is 3 groups. Group 1 is given x1, then it is exposed to the observation, and then x2, and then again tested, and then x3, and then again it was exposed to a observation. Similarly, group 2 receives x2 first, and then observation, and then x3, and then observation, and at last the group 2 receive x1, and then again group is observed. Similarly, in group 3, x3 is given first and then observed, then observation, and then x2, x1, and then observation, and at the end group receive x2, and again it is observed at the end. This arrangement involves 3 groups. Group 1 received treatment 1 and is post-tested, then received treatment 2 and is post-tested, and the last received treatment 3 and is post-tested. Group 2 received treatment 2 first, then treatment 3, and then treatment 1 being post-tested after each treatment. Group 3 received treatment 3 first and then treatment 1 followed by treatment 2 also being post-tested after each treatment. The order in which the groups receive the treatment should be determined randomly. A unique weakness of the counterbalance design is potential multiple treatment interference that results when the same groups receive more than one treatment. Thus, a counterbalance design should be used only when the treatments are such that exposure to one will not affect the effectiveness of another. Here is the table showing the threats of invalidity to quasi experimental design. The first design is uh, pre-test post-test pre-test post-test design. The groups are not randomly selected, so the randomization affect the maturation, testing, and instrumentation is affected by the pre-test and post-test. Regression is not controlled. Selection is not controlled because the groups are not randomly selected, and there is no threats of pre-test interaction and multiple treatment interference because group receives only the one treatment. Time series design. The groups are observed 5 times before treatment and then again observed 5 times after treatment. In this, history is not controlled because there is one group. Similarly, testing and instrumentations become controlled because there are number of observations. Instrumentation is not controlled because the groups are pre-tested and post-tested many times. Similarly, multiple treatment is not an issue in this because the group received a single design, single treatment. Counterbalance design. In counter, all threats are controlled except the last three. The one of the most prominent factor that become relevant in this design is the multiple treatment interference because the group received three treatments and we cannot segregate the effect of one treatment from the other because of the carryover effect. Here are the interpretation of the sum of the research studies. A four-group pre-test post-test control group design is used with three different experimental treatments X1, X2, X3 and a control group treatment. All groups are pre-tested and post-tested. The design is diagram as follows. Group 1 is randomly selected. It is pre-tested, then given a treatment and then post-tested. Group 2 also is pre-tested and given treatment and then post-tested. Group 3 is also received pre-test and then treatment and then post-tested. Group 4 is the control group. Here are the results. O1 is not equal to O2, O3 is not equal to O4, O5 is not equal to O6, O2 is equal to O4, but O2, O4 is not equal to O6 and O1 is equal to O3, equal to O5, equal to O7, equal to O8. Interpretation. There are effects for all experimental treatments. The effect of X1 and X2 are the same, but they are different from that of X3. Here is another example. This example is somewhat more complex since it involves six groups, three of which are pre-tested and three of which are post-tested immediately after the experiment is completed. It is a modification of the Solomon four-group design extended in time. Also, six groups are post-tested, some after the experiment is completed. Only one experimental treatment and a control treatment are used. The design is as follows. Result O1, O3 is not equal to O5 and O3 and O5 is not equal to O11. Interpretation. There is an experimental effect in pre-test groups in the long term. These results give no information about non-pre-tested groups or about short-term effects. However, the effect is not the same for a group previously post-tested and groups are not previously post-tested. Here is another result. O2 is equal to O6 and O2, O6 is not equal to O10 but O3 is equal to O5 is equal to O7 is equal to O8 is equal to O11 is equal to O12. The interpretation is there is an experimental effect in the short term and it is the same for pre-test non-pre-tested groups. There is no long-term experimental effect. Thank you very much for your patience listening.